Surfing, Kelly Slater. Basketball, Michael Jordan. You know, you kind of have those standout names, the ones that kind of dominate. It's been year after year, Harley riding competitions and pretty much wins every one.
Wakeboarding has had, specific eras of legends that, their name is synonymous. You've got Darren Shapiro in the early days, Sean Murray, Scott Byerly, and then Parks Bonifay came along, and Harley's that next guy.
Contest after contest, he's been on top of the podium. I mean, if he stands up, it's pretty hard to beat. He's one of the best in the world.
He is just such a driven person when it comes to wakeboarding. Like, there is nothing stopping him. He's just so dedicated to the sport. It is his everyday. It's his world. Like, wakeboarding is his world, and it has been his whole life.
Well, I guess I wakeboard because my dad was a water skier. We were so boat orientated, and the world I grew up in was going to the river every weekend, and all I ever thought about was being a pro wakeboarder. I'd fall asleep with magazines in my bed, and I'd watch wakeboarding movies all the time, and now I'm sort of living that dream.
I water skied all my life, and then I sort of took up wakeboarding myself and decided that I'd like to get my sons into water skiing, so I actually taught them how to water ski first. And from there we moved, into wakeboarding. I've got Ty, Harley, and then Ethan. My oldest son started wakeboarding, and as soon as he started to wakeboard, Harley, who was 4 years younger than Ty, he wanted to wakeboard, and they just all loved it.
So it was just all so family orientated. So every afternoon, after school or on the weekends, we'd be on the boat, the whole family, my brothers. If my little brother learned to do a little grab, I would go out there straight away and try and do 2 different grabs, So it's always really competitive between each of us, and that was sort of when it all started.
As far as sacrificing as a family, we had to give up a lot of things, to keep Harley on the water and to keep riding. It was expensive.
It's not like soccer where you can just take the kid to the field every day and he can just kick the ball around, and it's a kind of a big investment to be a parent and have a wakeboarder. You got to buy a boat, you got to pay for the fuel, so it was definitely a little bit more pressure because Dad was at the time struggling.
I didn't have financial support from anybody other than just Sharon and myself working as hard as we could and sinking everything into Harley to get to where he is. I took them all out riding, all gave them the same water time. Harley just happened to excel more than what they did, and he wanted it more. He wanted to be that person. The moment he got up on a wakeboard, you could just tell that he had that ability.
I think what made Harley different coming up is that he continued to meet and exceed every expectation that anyone had of him. His level of riding is that high, and he's got the mindset for it. And yeah, he's not slowing down. It's cool to see.
When it comes to his training, he's so dedicated to it, so he doesn't ride just once a day. He will ride numerous times a day. He might even ride 4 or 5 times a day, which is ridiculous. But he loves it. That's what he loves to do as well. So it's not just a job for him, it's something that he loves. He's so passionate about it.
I mean, Harley's a super technical rider. You can go out there and some people don't know one thing he does. He's just flipping and twisting away. I mean, he dominates week in and week out. He's got great style. He can send it big, double flips. His only weakness is if he falls, and that's hardly ever.
So last year I turned 21 and my whole family, they were all there to come hang out and celebrate, and it just happened to be that my 21st birthday fell on the day of the World Championships. And it ended up going out and I won the event, so that was crazy. It was my 21st birthday, World Championships, and on top of that, I just found out that it was the overall King of Wake Championship, so I won that as well. But no, that was probably the best day of my life, I reckon.
It was absolutely phenomenal. Our whole family was just ecstatic for him. I was really proud for him, and it was on his birthday too. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Up and over the promo 540. Give it up for Harley Clifford.
Earlier this year, I was at the US Masters. I ended up sticking 2 double flips back to back in my run, and then I stuck a double back roll off the double up at the end. So I ended up doing 3 double flips in my run, which was pretty crazy considering like no one else had ever done more than 1. Finally put it together and stuck it, and it was so cool to just get that load off my shoulders and sort of show people where wakeboarding is going.
It's definitely arguable that that was one of the best runs ever done. He really got to showcase everything he can do. The scary part about that is he actually has more.
It was a dream for Harley to make it to the top. I've watched that dream grow for him, and for him to be able to do the things that he's done, it's phenomenal. For me, I feel that he's achieved what he's wanted to achieve. I couldn't be happier for him.
I think he's already kind of put his stamp on the sport, that if he never wakeboarded another day in his life, people will remember him for sure.
The next giant thing that's going to happen in wakeboarding, like trick-wise, is people are going to start doing double flip 360s, and then that's going to progress into double flip 540s, and that's going to progress into triple flips and whatnot, you know. Wakeboarding's only young, and there's so much more to be done on a wakeboard, and I can't wait to see how it's going in the future.